Welcome back. This is the third session of our discussion with Senator Tim Scott and Congressman Trey Gowdy on the transformative power of unlikely friendships. Intentionally creating unlikely friendships isn't something most of us take the time to do. But Trey and Tim are convinced that relationships are what make the world go around. And unlikely friendships especially can stem the tide of division and isolation in our country. In our last session, we discussed taking the time to build rapport. Today, we're discussing how to establish credibility. And Tim, you've talked a lot about the importance of cleaning the slate. Speak to that. Why is that so important?
So often when you enter into a new relationship or into a new conflict even, we are weighed down by the past. The history seems to confront the present circumstances. And sometimes it's like being hit with weapons of past generations or past decades or past relationships. It is very hard to start a new conversation or work towards reconciliation if you're completely weighed down by what happened yesterday, not to you and not to the person you're talking to, but the conflict that just exists throughout the world and frankly in areas of race and politics, even within the church. So in order for us to clean the slate, the concept is let's just let me and you have a conversation, not about the weight of the world or the weight of the past, but about where we are right now. That is a very difficult assignment for most of us who want to have credibility, but it's important for us to start the path towards reconciliation with credibility, which means that I can't make you responsible for the acts or the actions of others before you. I've got to just have a conversation with you about the relationship that's here. I'm not sure if I can say it differently, but
I think you said it beautifully, and while you were talking, what I thought, and to Tim's credit, the more I've gotten to know him, the more I have learned things that happened in his past before we ever met. One of the barriers to a friendship is when you begin to impute or import what others have done to you onto the person that you are focused on now. He's never done that. He never said, well, you look a lot like someone who did or said something to me in the past. That has never happened, and it can't happen. You can't impute what others have done wrong to you onto someone who was not responsible for it. You can't do it generationally, and you can't do it individually. So when I hear clean the slate, let's give each other a clean slate.
Our country seems to be unraveling at times because the weight of the past generations' relationships find its way onto our shoulders. That is too much weight for anyone to bear. It doesn't mean that we forget the past. It just means that I don't charge you with the responsibility of repairing the past that you weren't a part of.
When Job went through his difficulties, the folks who ministered to him the most and meant the most to him were the ones who just sat there with him. So if I hadn't already said thank you for helping me during the loneliest point in my professional life.
Well, I appreciate you being there for me when I got hit by a train with this Mother Emanuel church shooting. The night of that call, it's broke my heart. And to be able to turn to someone in the midst of that situation, to have as your go-to person a white guy from the Deep South in the midst of a racially motivated hate crime speaks volumes of what's possible through this concept of reconciliation and bridging the gap, one that is anchored in God's love, anchored in something that is real, that is powerful, and that is transformative. I appreciate you being there for that. I invite you and your group to continue the discussion that Trey and I are having. When have you witnessed a friendship built on credibility and complete trust? What friends have you placed your trust in? What does it take for you to start trusting someone?